Coming up today on KTown Social Club, we have Israel and Iran are going at arms. State representative is assassinated in the United States, and ICE raids and protests erupting everywhere. All that coming up and more.
From Koreatown, Los Angeles, thank you for tuning in to KTown Social Club for the issues you really care about. With David Yoon, Hajin Cho, and your host, Ed Choi. And with that, let's start the show.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we have our panelist, Hajin Cho. If you guys remember our guest from a couple of months ago, Ron Schaller. I'm Ed Choi, and welcome back. How have you guys been?
There's just so much shit going on always. I'm like, what do I say?
What about, let's start personal. How's your last week been?
Oh, just more brain-rotted activities. I'm really into Love Island. That's the current, internet zeitgeist, the current obsession.
I don't know why.
It's a dating show. It's a ridiculous show.
I don't know why I'm like so hesitant to watch that one because I love trash TV so much.
But it's good trash TV,
I know.
bro. Like,
I love that shit.
Wait, you got hella tan. Are you okay? It's like a little sunburn.
Yeah, it's bad.
From protesting?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you tell us about your weekend.
Well, we'll get into that later,
Yeah.
but I'll just give you guys an update. It's pretty bad. Someone in one of the comments on one of my videos was like, I wish the Israel-Gaza border was as defined as that tan line on your head, and I was like,
damn. No, comments are ruthless.
Yeah, but I wore a hat one of the days, and I woke up late because I was like up until 4 a.m. doing some work the night before, and I was like checking everything, and I got everything, and it wasn't until I was out there like an hour in that I was like, I forgot sunscreen.
Oh no.
Yeah. So.
Always got to keep one in your car. That's what helps me.
I should. I have like 3 of them too, so yeah, that's smart.
You should just put your bangs down like your emo.
Yes, the emo scene.
Yeah.
When we were in middle school.
Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't really care, you know?
Just put lotion and hydrate.
Yeah,
and
I
make
have
sure the
been.
skin heals. And
Yeah. I've just been trying to make sure that it doesn't get too bad.
Spider bites and sunburn.
Well, that's the one thing that I was really upset about. I was like, the scarring on the spider bites, I was like, the last thing that needs is for it to be sunburnt. Because, that's how
scars?
Yeah, like scars and
It's
hyperpigmentation.
Okay. It's fine. Yeah.
I've been putting scar tape on those, and I've been
aloe,
putting vitamin C on my face to try to get rid of it. So
it'll heal.
We'll
the
see.
body's resilient.
Whatever. I don't really care. It is embarrassing. every
not
once in a while, people will be like,
you can't really tell.
Oh, you can tell.
In person, you're reddish, so I'm like, oh, you got a little burnt. But on camera,
then you looked a little closer, and you're like, oh, there's a beach. There's a beach on your head.
I'm screaming. Okay, anyway, Ron, how was your weekend?
It's all right. Uneventful, but that's always good.
Any good foods? Either of you guys?
No.
No? Do you guys watching any other Korean shows? I keep forgetting
I go through phases. Sometimes I'm hella watching Korean content, and then I'll be watching shit like Love Island. Why?
Yeah, so I keep forgetting what the English name for it is, but in Korean it's 미지의 서울 or 서울의 미지.
서울의 미지? 그게 뭐지?
It's I think
is it an expression or a food? Or
no, Miji is this girl's name, and it's
Miji.
It's like her excursion in Seoul.
Oh, cute.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
It's the title of a show. Okay,
yeah. I forget. It's something totally different in English, but it's
cute.
about these twins.
I was just talking about how much
These twin girls who historically throughout their childhood used to switch places because they're so vastly different from each other, and they would try to support each other.
Wait,
one's more studious and one's more outgoing, so depending on the situation, they would help each other out and switch spots.
Whoa.
And then it got to the point where they're so identical that the mom couldn't even tell.
Oh my
so
God.
one day after they got caught, the mom chopped off the hair of one of the girls, and she was forced to have short hair so that they couldn't do it again. Mm-hmm. And then in adulthood, something happens and they decide to switch places again.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I've been super addicted to it.
That sounds really fun.
But if any of you guys have been watching it, probably not. Let us know so I don't feel like such a loser.
No, if you have anything fun you're watching that's not Love Island.
Yeah, I'm probably going to start watching Love Island.
It is good, though. The drama, the chef's kiss. It's just it's so fun. I'm not even playing. it's fun to psychologically analyze because I love doing that.
That's
you
why I
see all
like
these
watching the
different
trash
social
shows.
dynamics.
Yeah.
You see how people like form alliances and like it's just very interesting and like a human psychology.
To me,
level.
I like watching those shows because it's like a human character study.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like a
That's literally why
sociology.
I like it.
Yeah, same.
It is brain rot, but it's like I am learning something. I think.
I also like to turn off my brain and just like be mindless.
Yeah, just like passively consume
for like an hour or two in my day. But
one of the girls just got kicked off for racist tweets, right? From the past.
Oh yeah. Yulissa, this like Miami girl. Yeah,
she
hella racist.
They found out during production and kicked her off.
Yeah, and they kicked her off the second episode. The narrator was just like, she won't be a part of this show anymore.
Shit, that was expeditious.
It's like live. That's the crazy thing, actually. I was going to say that.
Wait, it's live?
Well, it's not live. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. But we are watching 2 days behind when they filmed it. So they're on the island right now, like doing everything.
Oh my God, it's not like 6 months ago?
That's how fast it is, yeah.
Holy
so we
shit.
have like, there's an app. It's so Hunger Games-esque. You can like vote what islander you want to like break up with their couple. Like, it's kind of fucked up and like unethical. Because these people are actually falling in love.
You got me hooked already.
Bro, but
Have you been watching it?
No, it's just so
I'm sure you've seen some TikToks. Like, it's huge.
Yeah, like
huge.
it's literally talked about in TV shows and like all over the news.
It's memed constantly.
Anytime something about Love Island comes up, I'm like, do not drag me in it.
Shows like
I don't think you could watch the whole season because it's like 40 episodes. Because it's an episode a night, by the way. It's every night. So after this, I'm gonna rush home and put my little TV on. But
there's a new episode every night
minus
because
Wednesday.
it's live.
Yeah. So, and they're on the island for 6 weeks. So, like, you would go crazy, obviously. You're not allowed to have internet or your phone, so they have no idea what, like, the world is thinking of them. You're trying to, like, find the love of your life in these very, like, constrained, like, highly, like, manipulated environments. It's a beautiful villa, but it's, like, the production is, like, just trying to make drama happen, you know? So they'll, like, try and, like, test couples.
The world is, like, at war.
Yeah, I know. While there's fucking war going on. Like,
so they have no idea any of this is happening.
They're, like, worried about
they have no idea, like,
up.
what the public reception is like. They have no idea if they're, like...
Or just, like, even world news.
Villain edit.
Yeah,
or,
like, World War III could start,
they have
and they
no
wouldn't
idea
know.
anything about the world news. They have no idea.
So crazy.
Yeah, so it's kind of bizarre and hilarious.
I mean, I'm sure the producers would tell them, you know, but that's crazy.
Dude, but the production actually has, like, a history of, like, past cast members or previous people that were involved that have committed, like, unaliving themselves because of, like, the psychological, like, you know, just, like, the overwhelming just fame and, like, all the...
Clout. It's not what people think it is.
And a lot of people go in for clout, so it's kind of annoying because there are some people, supposedly, that go in for love, and... So that kind of like.
So is there a winner, or is it like?
There is a winner if you are like the strong. A couple wins, and
a couple does win.
Yeah, they only win 100K. So
it's not like Singles Inferno where it's like, hey, if you just match, you all win. There's one singular couple winner.
Yeah, it's like you want to be in the couple that makes it to the.
Oh man, I wonder if it's gonna make it to like betting sites. You know what I mean? Because
I would bet dead ass.
Yeah, because like,
like
when like reality TV first started, like Survivor and stuff, you used to be able to bet on it.
My friends are huge Survivor fans.
And like, I remember like one of the first ones, I found out who won before the show aired. So I was like, I'm betting on this.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Money.
And then afterwards, when people started realizing, or the sites in the, Las Vegas started realizing that people were finding some of the information out, they stopped all the bettings on these reality shows. But yeah, if it's live.
We love to bet. As humans, we love to win.
Especially as Asians.
As Asians, we are competitive.
We love to gamble.
But anyway.
To more important things. Yeah, to more important things. Starting off, so as we all know, South Korea has reelected their new president, which was Lee Jae-myung, who was the person who lost to Yoon Suk-yeol. So he has been very, as we spoke about the last time, he's been very pro diplomacy with like North Korea, with China, and not being as beholden to America and things like that. So one of the first things that he's done is he has turned off the propaganda speakers at the DMZ.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so he ordered that the loudspeakers that are broadcasted, so they were doing like K-pop, news, and other propaganda into North Korea. So if you guys remember,
hilarious.
Yeah, so if you guys remember when South Korea was sending like balloons to North Korea with like
U.S. It was the other way around.
No. So it started with like South Korea was sending like balloons with like USB sticks with like K-pop, K-dramas, and news. So then North Korea retaliated by sending the balloons filled with trash.
I heard that.
And then what South Korea did afterwards, they escalated towards these speakers. So then North Korea turned their own speakers towards South Korea. And they were playing like eerie sounds to the point where like apparently South Korean citizens across the border who were living close by, they literally had to install like double pane windows and got like sound insulation in their homes because they said it was so bad.
It was probably like ominous as fuck.
Yeah, like creepy sounds. So like, I mean, it sounds like very tit for tatty middle school shit because it kind of was, which is kind of why Yoon Suk Yeol needed to go, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so the first thing that Lee Jae-myung did was, he turned off the speakers. And
okay.
Yeah, so.
Well, we'll see how these geopolitical relations go.
Yeah.
I guess I have thoughts, but I don't really want to share them because I've been talking about Lee Jae-myung with my parents. They were just in Korea and,
Negative thoughts.
We're very progressive folks, but
they're a little sus.
We're very sus of Lee Jae-myung personally, but I don't want to really share
because
those
of the
thoughts
Trump
right
thing.
Now. Not even the Trump thing. It's very convoluted. I don't even know if I have the language for it because my dad tells me stuff in Korean. But like, Michael might not love this, but I don't know if his like budding with North Korea and China is necessarily gonna be great. Maybe in the short term, like optics type of thing, fine, but. My family is of the opinion that like those kind of policies will very much hurt South Korea, like economically and stuff. But that's a big subject. So I literally just picked them up from LAX this morning, so I have to like.
Oh, they're in town.
They just got back today.
Back in town.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
I was like, wait a second.
So.
Yeah.
It's not that we're pro Yoon Suk Yeol, so don't get me wrong. I don't like him, but yeah, things.
It's a very wide thought belief, I feel like. Even among
there's a fair amount of criticism towards Lee Jae-myung, obviously. So, yeah.
In other news-ish, staying in Asia for a second, if you guys were aware, that's not the right one. Oops. I don't have it up. But here it is. Just kidding. If you guys saw in India, there was a plane that crashed. So this plane was a Boeing 787.
No.
Yeah, so it was a flight from, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, from Ahmedabad, India. Sorry. It was en route to London. Sorry. And it basically, not too long after takeoff, it crashed into a medical college. And
oh my God, are you fucking serious?
Yeah, so 270 people unfortunately did lose their lives. 241 of those people were on the airplane, and 29 of them were on the ground when it crashed.
Oh my
God. So it took out 270 people. There is one singular survivor who was on vacation. He lived in London, and he was on vacation with one of his younger brothers who unfortunately did lose his life. It's a 38-year-old survivor. His name is Viswash Kumar Ramesh. And it's a really tragic thing. They're not really 100% sure, obviously, because it just recently happened this past week, what the malfunction was, what happened. Typically, that investigation can take upwards of multiple years. So we're not quite sure when we're going to find out.
I did see a pilot that, from him looking at the video footage, suggested that he thinks that 2 of the engines failed, so it didn't have enough boost to get up, and then that's why you see it just slowly get up and then come right back down.
Because it didn't have enough momentum to, I guess, to coast further.
Yeah, so, I mean, he could be wrong, but that's what it kind of, how he explained it, it makes sense.
Yeah, because it doesn't even look like a takeoff.
Yeah, it just looks like it's like slowly going up and then boom.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it crashed into this like residential area.
Can you imagine? I mean, you can't imagine because you'd be dead.
Yeah.
But like, what?
Yeah, it's
something
really
like that
sad.
happening in your town, like, or you're just like walking your dog outside or something. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, and the kind of crazy thing that also happened is that so this Thai singer was in a plane crash that happened 27 years ago, in like 1997, 8, and he says that he was like one of the only survivors of that plane crash, if not the only. And he was sitting in the same exact seat that the survivor from the Air India plane was on. It was seat 11A, both of them.
That seat is going to be so expensive now.
That's what all the comments are saying. Yeah. That's what all the comments are saying.
That is so crazy.
People
are
like, yeah, between now, 11A is going to be expensive. Someone's even like, can we buy stock in seat 11A? So, yeah.
Are you joking? That's so bizarre.
If that video footage is real, too, it's crazy that person walking away from the crash site while it's like in flames. He's just walking.
Are you
serious? That's what the survivor of this Air India crash said. He said he does not remember how he got out. He just knows that he's the only one that survived, and his brother and amongst hundreds of other people are dead. Yeah.
He was probably in like a dissociated state from the trauma,
I'm
and
sure.
literally just like, I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, holy.
I don't even understand how he got out.
Yeah.
I know. I have no like what.
And that's what this article is even about. This kid just like happened to film this crash. Yeah. It was just weird timing. You know.
I mean,
I don't even want to say right place, right time because it wasn't. You know, it just was coincidental.
Oh man, guys.
Yep.
Be careful traveling.
In a little bit more serious news that is slightly alarming, which I feel like a lot of people in the United States, like, they don't really know too much about what's happening in the Middle East. And I'm going to be very honest. Like, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm like around a 7 at best, you know? 10 being like you really know, 1 being like, what? But if you guys have been paying attention, Israel has started attacking Iran. Yeah, so
some crazy shit's going on.
Yeah, so it was very calculated on Israel's part because ahead of this attack, the U.S. and Iran were in talks. There was a deal that they were trying to have made that would have put Iran's they were going to scale down on their nuclear program in exchange for America lifting some of their sanctions, which has been completely decimating part of their economy, having a big effect on it. And that meeting was supposed to happen this past Sunday. Okay. And just a couple days prior, Netanyahu decided to order a strike on Iran, which obviously then Iran started to retaliate back. Which in my mind, I keep thinking, I was like, yeah.
That's how I always, from what my very loose reading on it, that's how I'm perceiving it.
So like, to me, I think it's weird that like Netanyahu is like so controlling that he's willing to put his own citizens' lives in danger to make sure that Iran doesn't, like, that's wild to me.
He's not a leader.
And people are still able to get behind him like that. Like,
just delusional.
Yeah, so, you know, all
Didn't he run away to Greece? I saw, like, comments like that.
Oh, did he? I didn't see that.
Like, post the strike. And one of my best friends is in Greece right now, and I was like, girl, you should find him. That
would be crazy.
I was like, I don't want to incriminate myself, but knife emoji, blood. Just kidding. Alleged.
So Iran also is insisting that they do not want to actually create a nuclear program, and Netanyahu is adamant that the only way they're able to stop Iran from developing nuclear weapons is by going to war, which is very confusing. So Israel, like I said before, they don't want to see the U.S. and Iran improve their relations. And, you know, they've actually been trying to sabotage it for over 20 years now, since the early 2000s. And in fact, this part's a little bit grosser than the rest. Actually, no. It's equally gross, but Israel, Netanyahu is comparing this basically to October 7th. They're using that as a reference point. And I believe the exact quote was, quote, "After the October 7 attacks, we are not going to wait for our enemies to surprise us again." So, yeah. And U.S.
murder hungry.
Yeah, and the U.S., which originally, you know, were trying to be in talks with Iran, Trump has now been using vocabulary and words that make it seem like we're going to join Israel on the attacks.
Of course.
You know, he's been saying things like unconditional surrender. He says, you know, terms like we, and I don't know if this is going to load because Truth Social is so janky.
Wait, that's what it looks like? I've actually never seen it. It's like Facebook kind of, no?
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys saw it before I refreshed it, but in the top right, it was like, you're moving too fast. Try again later. And it like wouldn't load anything. So it's like so janky.
Janky ass site.
But first off...
Ew, it's so ugly.
It is so ugly. Oh my God. So he wrote a tweet
oh my God.
where he says that there's like a quote unquote supreme leader of Iran and that they're going... Like he doesn't want to take them out, at least for now. So he's using ominous words like that. And then literally right after that, is it a tweet? I don't even know what to call it anymore. After that post, he then posted this unconditional surrender in all caps.
That's so creepy.
It's very ominous, but it's starting to sound like, he's going to bend.
He's inciting more.
Yeah. And we know how the U.S. is when it comes to Israel. We're their fucking puppets. So Trump's going to do what puppets do and just follow orders.
We don't want to go to war.
Yeah.
I mean, all his supporters are actually turning on him because they say it's not putting America first by going to war and getting us involved in this war.
Yeah, it's true. In fact, Tucker Carlson even went on and said that, Trump was inciting war.
What's that blonde, crazy lady?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
She's even... Yep. Yeah, I saw that too. They're all criticizing him, but
they're turning on him.
Trump's
slowly.
it's not gonna sway Trump at all. He's gonna do whatever he's gonna do because he has ulterior motives. You know what I mean? Like you can call him whatever names you want. He has his mind set on money. And after having decades of failed businesses and literally the Apprentice saved him. You know what I mean? Like there's interviews from the executive producers that state that like
he's always been running from his crimes.
Yeah, and they literally stated that when they went to his Trump Tower apartment where they, and the area where they did the filming, they had to invest money to fix up the areas of his home that were going to be filmed because they said it was so dilapidated.
Oh my God.
Because he couldn't afford to fix it.
He's a con man.
He's a con man. So he's trying to put as much money in his pocket while he's in office. And speaking of which, right before this Israel strike happened, there are multiple people in government who bought defense stock right before the Israeli attacks. So the two people in question are these two. It is Republican Mark Wayne Mullen and Democrat Gil Cicernos. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. But they both they're both on the Armed Services Committee. So they're, have privy to this information. And they both bought stock in L3 Harris, which is a defense...
I love this account, like calling this shit out.
Yeah. Though. It's like a government contractor, and they literally bought stock in it before. So, yeah, as this post says...
Illegal.
Super sus.
Be illegal.
Super sus.
Y'all are cheaters.
It is illegal, but they're still doing it anyway because no one's holding them accountable. So it's crazy. And
AOC.
Speaking of the government overreaching and doing things illegal, we have, if you guys saw earlier this week, a California Senator, Alex Padilla.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
He was detained
what the hell?
And handcuffed, like kneed on the ground to put handcuffs on and taken out of the office during a press conference with Kristi Noem. And literally, it's crazy because I'm going to play this video for you in a second. You can see it in the background right here of him getting detained. And I'm playing this without the audio, but you're going to hear this part of the audio.
Bro, it's
the
so
whole
aggressive.
Time. You hear...
Senator Alex Padilla, I have questions. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions.
You guys heard that, right? He identifies himself. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. So basically, before I play the rest of it and follow up, I guess Kristi Noem had a bunch of like mugshots of people behind her during this press conference.
Oh, okay.
And he was trying to question why they were up there. Are you targeting them? Because I think maybe where he was trying to lead towards was like, clearly that's not where ICE is looking for people. You know what I mean? So afterwards, after this all happens, Kristi Noem is like, after the press conference ended, Senator Padilla and I had a nice sit down. And then she says this.
Activities of the Department of Homeland Security. And so I thought it was very productive. And I wish that he would have reached out and identified himself and let us know who he was and that he wanted to talk. I'll let the law enforcement speak to how this situation was handled, but I will say that it's people need to identify themselves before they start lunging at people.
He did.
Did you hear those words lunging at people? And you should identify yourself. Do people know that their things are recorded and filmed? I don't understand.
Just the blatant.
Karma kind of hit her. She actually then got sick and then went to the hospital.
She's in the hospital right now. She was taken in the hospital like an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. Yeah.
Oh my God.
For those of you guys watching, we filmed this on Tuesday, so So not only did that happen, but just hours ago today, this also happened.
You have a judicial warrant. You have a judicial warrant. And I see the warrant. I will let go when you show me the judicial warrant.
Why are they manhandling him like that? Like holding him like that? Like he'll just walk with them. Why are they doing this?
Step back. You don't have authority to arrest U.S. citizens. Sir, you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. Stay back. You don't have. I'm not obstructing. I'm standing right here in the hallway. I asked to see the judicial warrant. By asking for a judicial warrant, you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens asking for a judicial warrant.
Those two, the one with the hat and the one that was arresting him, they're both Asian. I just want to point that out. Shame on you.
Oh my God. Wait, so those are ICE agents?
Those are ICE agents. So the person that they just arrested, the one that you heard who was like, I'm just asking to see a judicial warrant.
Yeah.
His name is Brad Lander. He's the current Comptroller of New York City. And he is the next election cycle. He's a mayoral candidate. Like this man could be a mayor. And they are arresting him for no reason other than the fact that he was holding on to. So they were coming out of a trial for immigration, and he was holding on to the guy who was the defendant. And when they came out of the courtroom, ICE immediately tried to pick him up, which is what they've been doing.
Oh my
they've been literally going after people who were trying to do it the legal way, which is what everyone's saying.
And just detaining them.
Yeah,
on the spot.
So he was like, I want to see a judicial warrant.
Oh, right.
And that's when they literally arrested him. And I just want to make sure it's very abundantly clear. ICE does not have any authority to arrest anyone outside of suspicion of illegal immigration, like being an undocumented immigrant. Like they're not allowed to do this. This is very unlawful for them to do it. So
why is nothing happening? How are they allowed to carry themselves this way? Why? It's so aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, the two Asian guys didn't, but that one had their face covered. So that's the thing is that like they do that so that like who's gonna hold them account?
Yeah.
Who hold who accountable?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we don't know who they are, which is why
they look like goons, like hooligans.
I'm not saying this as like an instruction, but like some people should like if you're about to get arrested anyway. Maybe like pull off their mask. Like, what else do you have to lose?
Make a TikTok about them, guys.
Yeah,
embarrass them.
But I think I recently saw a post this morning that stated that there are people who are trying to create a centralized database of ICE agents to identify them. Yeah.
That's a big brain move.
I think there's a law recently passed in California at least that law enforcement can't wear masks anymore. Yeah. So that'd be nice if it went.
Which is crazy that they have to do that because it's already not allowed for law enforcement.
They're the same people that probably hated masks during COVID.
Yeah, that's funny.
Like, I'm sure.
That's hilarious. That's a great point. Well, did you see masked police? I feel like they're always masked at the protests and stuff over the weekend. I feel like they don't want to be identified.
Oh, yeah,
so they're hella masked.
Yeah,
with the like gator thing, you know?
Yeah.
Cops love that shit.
I'm just trying to remember if LAPD did, because I don't know if they're not allowed to.
They might not be allowed to.
You have to be identifiable. Your badge has to show and your face has to show.
Okay. Thank you for this reminder in case.
For ICE, I saw a post that was like, they wear masks because they don't want their children and mothers to see them separating other children and mothers.
And how do you think it feels for the actual kids?
Yeah.
Like,
as in, like, they know it's shameful? That's crazy.
But
how do you live with yourself? Yeah. You know what I mean?
We're, again, clown show. Like, what is this?
It's crazy.
That's crazy. Like, those two Asian guys, like, you're telling me your mom and your dad, like, what is happening? You know they immigrated
just cognitive dissonance. They don't care.
Is it cognitive dissonance or is it just fucking stupidity?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I don't even know.
But in addition to that, this week has been literally insane because then a state representative and her husband were assassinated.
Are you for real?
Yeah. So if you guys are not familiar, Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband were assassinated the other night. This part's crazy. So earlier that night, Senator John Hoffman and his wife were also attacked in their home. And even though Senator Hoffman was hit with 9 bullets and his wife with 8, they both somehow survived and are okay. They're recovering, but they're alive. Now, after learning that Senator Hoffman and his wife had been attacked, police decided to be like, hey, maybe we should go check out Representative Hortman's house because they only live 5 miles away from each other.
Oh, gotcha.
Very close. So they decided to go to her house. So 2 police officers arrive at her home, notice that there is what seemingly looks like a police vehicle parked in front of her house with its emergency lights on. And as they walk past that car, they notice a man dressed as a police officer coming towards them.
Stop.
And when these police officers questioned, hey, who are you? That man immediately started firing at them, at which point, they returned fire. He ran away. And that's when the police officers went inside the home to realize he ran away on foot, not with his car, because his car was left there. That's when they realized that Representative Hortman and her husband had been killed.
And their
dog. This just happened?
And their dog.
How did I not hear about this? This is crazy.
Just the other night. Yeah.
Oh my God, rip.
Yeah, and it wasn't just them. Before that, he had actually gone to 2 other government employees' homes, except the only reason why those state legislatures didn't die or weren't attacked was because one wasn't home. And the other, when he got there, there was already a police officer there for some reason. And he just, saw the police officer and just went the other way and went on in his list, I guess. So
so we have a killer on the loose in Minnesota.
He got caught. So between 24 to 48 hours later, he was found and he has been caught. Now, this is the crazy part. This is what they found. So this is the man, first off. His name is Boatler. He's 57 years old. For some reason, I only wrote down Boatler.
Vance, I guess? It's not like
Vance Boatler. And he's 57. And he apparently served on a state board with Senator Hoffman, who he tried to shoot and survived, for more than 6 years. There isn't confirmation if they knew each other, but apparently they served on the same state board. Okay. Not only that, this is what the inside of his car looked like when they found it, the police car. So apparently he was in security, in private security.
Wait, are those guns? Like huge-ass guns?
Yeah.
Okay.
So apparently he was in private security. Apparently he didn't have any clients, but he bought these 2 police car security vehicles for this reason. And in this Instagram post, it basically outlines exactly what was found in his vehicle.
Oh, this is scary.
Yeah, there were multiple AK-47s. There was at least 3 of them. There was a fake police badge, ballistic vest, a rubber face mask,
the mask,
handguns.
So creepy.
Yeah. The man was...
No, he was out for blood.
He was out for blood. And apparently, it's crazy because, Republicans, I forget if it was J.D. Vance, but someone tried to say that he was part of the trans rights movement, when in reality, this man had posted anti-trans stuff in the past.
Of course.
Yeah, so, he's proven to be a Republican, but for some reason, the Republicans try to make it seem like he wasn't.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Even though, once again... evidence is out there and it will come to light. I don't understand. They're not even boomers. You know what I mean? You grew up in a digital age. You should understand how this works.
That's so psychotic. So we don't know his sole motive yet for
we don't know
these politicians
in detail what his motive is, but I'm sure it will come out.
Yeah, he had a list and then no Kings protest flyers. So they were telling everyone in Minnesota, they're like, maybe everyone shouldn't go to the protest because they hadn't caught him yet at that time. So they're like, public event, they didn't. And I think that's why the Republicans were trying to twist it as if he was
attending the protest as a protester.
But it was, everyone thought actually, no, he's going to be targeting.
Yeah, I feel like he would have targeted. That's totally what it seems like. It would have been like a tragic event or something.
Yeah. So speaking of that, as you guys know, Trump had a... Oh, God damn it. I hate when I do this.
Oh, the ads.
Yeah,
during the
stupid ads.
Payroll.
As you guys know, Trump had a parade this past weekend.
I saw a little bit of it. Just that it was a flop, right?
It was a flop. And there's a clip going around. I forgot to cue it up, but there's a clip going around where, like, the music entertainment part of it was like very empty, and they were playing like Lizzo's song in the background, which then she went to social media to be like, "Fuck you, you're not allowed to use my song."
Why would they use her song?
But it seemed like there was like only like a handful, like a couple thousand people there.
That's sad,
which is sad because Trump spent upwards of $40,000+ or $1 million on this parade. And, you know, some people are like, it's for, you know, the birthday of the U.S. military. And it's like, no, Trump did this for his birthday.
Himself, yeah.
But as Ron mentioned, the No Kings protest was on the same day, and exponentially more people showed up for that.
Oh, yeah.
The numbers are still coming in, but the last I checked, it was like upwards of 13 million people showed up. Throughout the country and in the world. There were many No Kings protests that were in support outside of our country as well. But before we get to the No Kings a little bit, so, you know, last week when we talked, I was like, hey, I'm going to go to the protest tomorrow, you know, the Wednesday after. And that was like one of the craziest days of my life.
Are you serious?
That was one of the craziest days of my life.
What?
Yeah.
Do tell.
So, you know, there are ICE raids that are happening in Los Angeles. You know, Trump is targeting a lot of these liberal cities, which, you know, also have higher numbers of undocumented immigrants, you know, obviously because they feel safe here. But also weird that those states are also the states that contribute more than they take from the federal funds. So it's like, undocumented immigrants contributing to that? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
They contribute. They're the backbone of our economy.
They are. And so, you know, LA has been, as people have been saying, all eyes are in LA. And, you know, people have been protesting to make sure that we've, you know, are doing right by the citizens of the people. Because, like, you can't live in LA and not have supported undocumented people, not live...
And be pro-ICE or some shit. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
So you can't eat the tacos but hate the people.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that. So, you know, there were protests, majority downtown. So I think it was on Tuesday night, Mayor Karen Bass put a curfew out in downtown Los Angeles, but it wasn't even all of downtown Los Angeles. It was essentially like one square block. Like 1 block's worth, basically had this like curfew till 8 p.m.
That's not bad.
And she placed that curfew allegedly because there was a lot of rioting and looting that happened after hours.
Right.
So the protests typically would happen in the late afternoons, early evenings. And then once that ended, just like it happened during the George Floyd protest, which Ron and I both witnessed, we saw people when we had a shop there, like people driving up in BMWs and Mercedes, getting out of their cars, not having been there all day, and then just going into and looting stores, which is essentially what they were doing downtown. So she put a curfew down, and so we went. I went on Wednesday. It started at 5 p.m.
Right.
It started at Flushing Square. I'm having a brain fart, but it started at like a couple blocks down from
I know what you're talking
City
about.
Hall.
I can't remember right now.
Pershing Square? I think it's Pershing Square. Yeah. And we went like 2-3 blocks down to City Hall, where then there was like another set of just like speeches and then just like people having camaraderie and just like, you know, standing in solidarity with one another. Roughly around 6-ish, or maybe a little bit before, actually maybe closer to like 5:30. No, right around like 6, actually. Sorry, I'm getting a little confused. Around 6:15, 6:30, people started to notice, I started to notice that the police were closing off the streets. Like they were barricading the streets that were like on the left and right of where City Hall was.
Okay.
And then people started to be like, then they started to close in, and I'm gonna play a video for you guys in a second. And then all of a sudden, we started to notice that like, and people were saying it, they're like, hey, they're closing in from behind too. And then we started to notice that they were closing in the cross streets at the top of the street. So then people were like, hey, we're gonna get closed in. And this process is called Kettling. And it's like
it's like a thing?
Yeah, it's like this like tactic that the police use to trap protesters.
Why?
And that's exactly what you're gonna understand in a minute. So then basically,
what the fuck?
Then I stayed back for a second because I was trying to warn people that was happening. So I started being like, hey guys, we gotta go. They're trapping us. And then the people who were organizers started yelling. They're like, hey, don't run, walk fast. Because the ideology is that if all of us start running,
it's gonna cause panic.
Then the police can claim that we were being aggressive, charging at them, and then use that as an excuse to start shooting us.
Yeah.
So they were like, don't run, just walk really fast. So I was like starting to walk really fast when all of a sudden, and you're gonna see this video, where the police started closing in on us from the other side, trapped us in a corner while finally audibly telling us you need to leave, while also simultaneously blocking us from being able to leave that area.
That's what I was wondering.
And that was roughly around 7:15. Again, curfew doesn't start till 8. And then they held everyone there until 8 o'clock so that they could charge them.
Are you kidding?
Not leaving until curfew and then giving them all these false charges. Luckily,
bro,
I had luckily, someone reached out to me from Golden TV, which is like a new startup, cool. Station for like Asian American stuff. Cool. And they were like, hey, we want to collaborate you on some of these like protest posts that you've been doing. And I was like, hey, I'm actually going to go tomorrow. Mm-hmm. This was on Tuesday. So I was like, if you guys want to come, just bring one of your cameramen. I was like, have that cameraman bring press passes for us.
That's
so
a good
luckily,
idea.
That's the only reason why I didn't get arrested, was because luckily those press passes worked and the police let us leave.
So you saw people get arrested?
I filmed it.
Holy shit.
And then I stayed there the whole night until past 8 p.m. when they finally arrested them, put them into let me just show you guys.
And this was LAPD?
This was LAPD. The sheriff's department was also there,
lame.
But it was majority LAPD that was doing this.
LASD,
and like,
LAPD.
you're gonna hear it in this video, but it just like really pisses me off because like Mayor Karen Bass has been doing this tour, this media tour, being like, this is so wrong, this is so wrong, this is unconstitutional, while she seeks her LAPD to do unconstitutional things to American citizens. Because the majority of people in protest are American citizens because they feel comfortable enough to stand up for those who are not.
In solidarity.
Yeah, comfortable enough to come out. So here's the video. This one's a little bit long,
get it
so
together.
I don't know if I'm going to show the whole thing, but yeah, here we go. Oh, no, not that one.
I'm low-key excited.
You know about the three...
Nope, not that one.
About these videos.
Sorry. Sorry, I should have been more prepared. Give me a second. Here we go. Okay, here we go.
It's fine.
Feel so silly right now.
Your mask.
I will get hit in the head. There they go. There they go.
Okay, city. Oh my god.
They're telling everyone to leave, but they literally blocked us in here. And then just about 10 minutes ago, the captain that's here running everything now told everyone that they're currently under arrest, even though there's still about like 20 minutes till curfew, which is, I believe, what they're about to try to arrest them for. But they've been holding them since 7:15. This is day 6. This is Wednesday of the protests in LA.
I am here today because I remember what it was like to live in fear of deportation.
Say it once, say it twice, we will not put up with this!
Donald Trump, let's be clear, immigrants are welcome here.
Oh, I love that. What building was that just now?
I forget.
There they go, there they go.
That's City Hall.
That's City Hall, yeah. So is this like Grand Park or whatever?
Yeah. That field like right in front of it.
Yeah. It looks like a good turnout, though.
Yeah, it was. And as you guys can see, the police would just randomly started to flank us on both sides. Like, they would just stand there, and the whole time, they're not saying anything to the crowd. The only thing they're doing is grunting in unison. So they're going, "Hur," as they stop, and then once they start moving.
These are gang members, bro.
Yeah,
these are bullies. Like, what is this? This is so bad.
And you saw that, right? They started, like, closing off the streets and then coming in on us.
Oh, my God.
That cut off on both sides of the street. That's cut off. And then all the way on the other side, they haven't started there yet, but they've closed off that street and that street.
Now wait for it.
So, yeah, they're trying to cattle us right now.
Yeah, you hear that? Someone's like, hey, they're closing in from behind, so we started running. When we got to the top of the street, the police were already closing in on us.
Wait, this is scary. Oh my God, why are they running? Oh, no!
Shit! Yeah, and I didn't get some of the clear ones, but I saw many people getting just beat with batons and horses being running over them for no reason. For no reason.
I have so many feelings right now. This is crazy.
So 48 minutes till curfew. This is what they're doing, 48 minutes till. Look on the other side still. But they're closing us in over there. Hey! Hey!
He's trying to make you guys scared. They're trying to make you guys scared.
This is where, listen.
We can't go that way. Why do you want to go that way?
Curfew.
They're blocking us in here, please.
Yep. You guys see this, right? 45 minutes, 7:15. There's an 8 o'clock curfew. They're telling everyone to leave, but they literally blocked us in here. Look, they're not letting press leave either.
That's fun.
That girl down there is saying that the police told them that we're not allowed to leave. She asked if we were under police custody, and he just said we're not allowed to leave.
These goons. These fucking goons. Oh my gosh.
All right, if you guys can see behind me, they have the people all cattled in back there. Just about like 15 minutes ago, the captain who's in charge right now told everyone that was left that they...
Yeah, so this other video has that part where the police officer says that right here.
This is Captain Peters of the Los Angeles Police Department. You are all under arrest for 409 DC. You are not free to leave.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Telling us to leave, but then they block you in here. And we still have like 45 minutes till curfew.
They're blocking us in here. They're blocking us in here, please.
Yep.
Whoever's watching, trying to turn.
You guys see this, right? 45 minutes, 7:15. There's an 8 o'clock curfew. They're telling everyone to leave, but they literally blocked us in here. That girl down there is saying that the police told them that we're not allowed to leave. She asked if we were under police custody, and he just said we're not allowed to leave.
Yeah, sorry, that part's a little repetitive, but this part, next part shows what happened after.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. Literally, like, probably kids. Oh!
Yep. They brought in two school buses and a paddy wagon.
Are you fucking serious, dude?
Yeah, I stayed until they were all hauled off to make sure that I could document anything
Dude,
like
you're so lucky you
inhumane
didn't
or
get fucking arrested.
yeah.
Fuck these cops.
Wait. Watch. Listen to what I said in 5 feet away from these cops right here.
Be safe. Fuck the fascists. Fuck the pigs. Fuck Donald Trump.
Fuck the pigs.
Yeah, so that happened. That
What a
happened
day.
the next day. I think the day before that as well, because I saw something about that happening the day before, and I was like, that's crazy.
They're
And
just rounding up anyone. Like,
Well, yeah.
that's literally what, there's no, like, rhyme or reason. It's just like,
in the first
you're
video I
brown?
showed, I cut it off before it got there because it's like a 6.5 long video. But I say it there. I say that, you know, Karen Bass is manufacturing these arrests to boost numbers because they're not actually arresting any real looters and rioters. So
And they're hella wasting all your times
Yeah.
if you get arrested, and
Yeah,
then they're
yeah.
going to let you go eventually,
Yeah.
I'm assuming, because they don't actually have anything.
And
to
the
arrest you
numbers
over.
came out today. Within the last like week and a half of protest, the city of LA has spent upwards of $20 million on this additional police, like over $11.7 million in just overtime for the LAPD alone. And then they were like, oh, also we spent like $700,000 fixing up all the damages that happened. It's like, bro.
What damages?
Well, let's just do the math for a second. If the costs for all the damages from the actual, you know, agitators who came in after the protests, like,
Well,
then
what
that-
did they do? What did they even fuck up?
well,
I don't even know
a
that.
lot of graffiti.
Oh,
you know,
I see.
a lot
Okay.
of some of the looters did break into small businesses,
Gotcha.
you know,
Okay,
things
okay.
like that. But like, in order to fix all of that, it cost them less than $1 million. Yet,
Yeah.
we spent upwards of $20 million to do preventative stuff when it sounds like it would have just cost us less to just let them do it and then fix it.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to me.
What a profound waste of money.
And then like
Taxpayer
now, well, it
dollars.
doesn't just end there, right? So all these people who got arrested now, they all have to go to court. And like, I did a follow-up video. I'm not going to put you guys through it, but basically, a bunch of people who got arrested reached out to me because I told them in the videos. I was like, hey, I have footage of all of this, so whatever you guys need, let me know. I'm going to send it to you so you can use it for court. We can prove, because like 409C basically states that it's an unlawful assembly, which one
Oh,
it
is that-
was.
okay.
You have the right to march down streets. You have the right to congregate, as long as you're not blocking traffic for extended periods of time and things like that. But the ordinance says that you have to. I play it right here, but the ordinance says that the dispersal order has to be lawful, which means that the police can't just be like,
Good point.
hey guys, you have to leave. And then be like, we gave you an order. You know what I mean?
Or like kettle you or whatever you're saying.
The lawful part of it would be like towards the end when they started blocking us, when all the police officers, every single one of them started being like, you have to leave.
Yeah.
You have to leave. That's the lawful part.
Yeah. That's such vague instructions too. It's like, yeah, okay, we're told we're gonna leave, so we'll leave, and then they start blocking you.
Right.
Like, that's on purpose. I feel like it's to like wreak like chaos.
Yep, it is. It is.
So
That's
you
what
can't
kettling
do what
is.
you're like doing.
Yep, yep,
oh,
yep.
okay. That makes sense.
So, you know, there's a reason for this too, and I'm gonna again, sorry for playing so many videos of myself talking. I normally try not to because I hate that.
Education.
But there is this thing called the 3.5% rule. So when people oftentimes say things like protests don't do anything, historically the numbers prove otherwise. And I'm gonna let this good-looking gentleman do the talking.
It's called the 3.5% rule because after researching hundreds of political movements in recorded history, like when protests led to successful overthrowing of government in the Philippines, Georgia, as well as Sudan and Algeria. And of course, they researched hundreds of other campaigns, but what they found was that typically it takes only 3.5% of the population to actively protest for it to lead to serious political change. And if you're thinking to yourself, but 3.5% of the population is such a small percent of the population, and the reason for that is even if only 3.5% of the population show up physically, that typically means that there's exponentially more people who believe in it and just were not able to make it out. Not only that, but the researchers also found that nonviolent protests are 4 times more likely to be successful than violent protests. Now, if you think about why Mayor Karen Bass and her LAPD are kettling people, trapping them without giving them an audible dispersal order, and then getting them arrested after breaking curfew after detaining them for over 45 minutes, or why there's always agitators like looters and rioters that always come in when they're not even a part of the protest. It's all for the same reason, to try to get negative view in the media with headlines like this calling it riots, because they are actively trying to deter the 3.5% of the population that is needed to enact change, which is for the same reason why nonviolent protests are more successful than the violent ones, is because when it's portrayed as violent in the media, then it deters people from coming out. And 3.5% sounds like a really small number, but as you're about to see, it's still a lot of people, because let's look to see how the No Kings protest measured up. So it's being reported that over 200,000 people came out for the No Kings protest yesterday in Los Angeles alone. And as of 2025, Los Angeles has 3,770,958 residents. Now let's do some quick math here. Take the population of Los Angeles, and 3.5% of that is roughly 131,983 people, which is significantly less than the over 200,000 people that showed up in Los Angeles. Well, that's great for Los Angeles, but what about the rest of the country, you say? Well, the official numbers are reporting that over 12.1 million people in the United States showed up for the No Kings protest nationwide. And of the over 347 million people are currently living in the United States, 3.5% of that 347-something million people in the United States equates to just over 12.1 million people. So the next time you see blatant lies like this, even though you don't see any footage of it, or you see them manufacturing arrests just to boost numbers, now you know why. And that's why it's really important to keep up the momentum, because this is the beginning of real change. Stay safe.
Yeah, so it's obviously not just protests. There needs to be maintained protests. There are like two other factors, including, like boycotts and things like that, so that it hurts. But this is part of what happened. Yeah.
I like numbers and visuals.
Yeah, so, that was the initial number is 12.1. I think the number is now
pretty huge.
Now they're saying that it was well over like 13 or 14 million people. So way more than 3.5% of people showed up.
We're all Trump's ops.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, people are like, 3.5%, that's so small. That's 12 million people.
That's huge.
Who's going to say 12 million people is a small number?
Right.
No one.
Or even the 200K number here.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Which is crazy because, like...
That's more than the Dodgers parade back in the fall.
It was.
Yeah, because that was like 100-something.
Significantly more than the people that showed up for the Trump parade.
Mainly that part.
So that...
Hit him where it hurts. His ego.
And I know for those of you who are like, hey, you guys are so liberal on the panel, we agree with you. We would love to have more conservative views as well, but a lot of them are too scared to be on the show. That's literally what some of them have told our producers.
Stand on business.
So if you guys know anyone, if you guys know of anyone who is conservative, who's local to the Los Angeles area, who could join us in person regularly, let us know, because we would love to have them a part of the panel.
You a Korean? You a Trumpy? The spot is yours.
So yeah, let us know. For those of you who have been supporting this podcast for a while, we
we're almost done.
Also want to let you know we have some merch. Not technically KTSC merch. And I wore one last week and I totally forgot to plug it. Ron is wearing one of them now.
Yes, I noticed. It's brat color. I love it. I want that one, the green.
Yeah, so it's the 90s RadioKorea logo that we brought back. And then we also have this one.
Oh my God, wait, what? Wait, that's cute.
In different colors, too.
Yeah, and these aren't the only colors, but this one just has RadioKorea down the side. We're going to have the links for you guys to be able to purchase these down below. There's also 2 hats, and they all come in totally different colors. We have everything from small to triple XL, double XL.
The t-shirts are small through double XL.
Yeah, there's
hoodies
also
are extra small to double XL.
There is also a hoodie in 2 different colors, as well as a rain jacket.
I literally want it all.
Yeah.
I love swag.
Check it out down below. Support, the podcast. It does help. Ron and I actually designed and made them.
Oh,
well, not
dude,
physically,
what?
but we.
Oh, duh, because you were in that business back in the
Yeah. So
I really like that shirt.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that one's dope.
So yeah, please support the podcast. Otherwise, make sure you like, subscribe, do all those commenting things down below so that you guys can help push out the algorithm. Otherwise, we've been joined today by our panelist Ha-Jin Cho, our guest Ronald Schaller. I'm Ed Choi, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, y'all. Be safe.
Boom! Under an hour.
Boom!